Survey research and sampling. Contents. Survey research, major differences between survey research and their methods, types of survey, basic purpose of descriptive surveys, basic steps of survey research, and sampling. Survey research. Survey research means to look at or to see over or beyond or, in other words, to observe. The observations or measurements made during survey research, or any other kinds of research to generate data of information.
Differences between survey research and other research. Survey research used to gather contemporary data, considered to be less rigorous, better suited to large number of cases, while historical research primary concerned with past data, and experimental research implies a scientific procedure wherein the factor under study is isolated to test hypothesis.
Here are some types of surveys: the exploratory surveys and analytical and descriptive. Exploratory surveys, often conducted as qualitative research, can increase the researcher's familiarity with the phenomenon in question. It can help to clarify concept, it can be used to establish priorities for future research, it can identify new problems, and it can be used to gather information with practical applications. And analytical and descriptive, according to Leidy, is the appropriate for data that are quantitative in nature and that need statistical assistance to extract their meaning. Other types of surveys: cross-selection study, measures one or more phenomena across a sample representative of the population or whole. Trend study, measure trends, patterns, or changes. Cohort study, collect data from the sample population more than one. Panel study, collect data from the same sample of subjects, often over time. Approximation of a longitudinal study, by asking people to recall past behavior and activities. Parallel sample study, separate samples regarding the same research problem. Contextual study, to learn more about the person. Sociometric study, for example, a thorough study of children's literature might well entail surveying authors, critics, publishers, librarians, parents, and children. Basic purpose of descriptive surveys. The basic purpose of descriptive surveys usually are to describe characteristics of the population of interest, estimate proportions of interest, estimate proportions in the population, make specific predictions, and test associated relationships. Basic steps of survey research. First is formulating objectives. Objectives should be based on the problem to be investigated or the questions to be answered. Second is selecting data collection technique. Such techniques are observations, interviews, and questionnaires often are used, but if no suitable technique already exists, then a new one must be devised. Third is selecting the sample. Finding based on a sample should provide a reasonably accurate representation of the state of affairs in the total group, and consequently considerable attention must be devised. Fourth is collecting the data. It is the procedure of collecting, measuring and analyzing accurate insights for research using standard validated techniques. Sampling, it means selecting the group that you will actually collect data from your research. Example, if you are researching the opinions of students in your school, you could survey a sample of 100 students. There are two types of sampling. The non-probability sampling means the researcher cannot state the probability of a specific element of the population being included in the sample. And probability sampling enhances the likelihood of accomplishing the objective and also provide methods for estimating the degree of probable success. That incorporates probability theory, which provides the basis for estimating population parameters and error. In determining the sample size, there are at least four general criteria. First, the degree of precision required between the sample and the population. Second, the variability of the population influences the sample size needed to achieve a given level of accuracy or representatives. Third, the method of sampling to be used can affect the size of the appropriate sample. And fourth, the way in which the results are to be analyzed influences decisions on sample size. Use of formulas. Formulas also consider the degree of accuracy with which one wishes to estimate a certain characteristics of the population and the variability of the population. Sampling error. The standard error of the mean represents how much the average of the means of an infinite number of samples drawn from a population deviates from the actual mean of that same population. Non-sampling error. If sample size goes up, so does non-sampling error. Another way of stating this relationship is that as sampling error decreases, non-sampling error tends to increase. Sampling in LIBRARY use by Sebastian Munt. Conclusion. Sampling procedures have always been widely applied in libraries because the full count of data was impossible or too costly. From the point of data collection management, it seems useful to choose a week as the sampling unit. Libraries are therefore asked to apply sampling methods carefully with respect to all possible sources of error, and their regional and national institutions will have to monitor and actively supervise the quality of data delivered to them.